Hello everyone and welcome. In this video, we're going to continue coding our snake game, and the goal for today is to create objects at random positions that the player can pick up and gain points from. So I'm going to teach you how to randomly generate objects in PyGame. So let's go to our functions section. Let's say def new collectible position, like so. This is going to be a function that's going to generate a random position for the collectible. So generate random collectible position. And let me just go up here and import the random module, which I already did for some reason. And let me create here a pos. This is going to be a list that's going to have an x and y coordinates of the collectible, which are going to be random numbers. Okay. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to say random.randint, and this is going to generate a random number between two values. I want to generate a random number between 1 and 18 because there are going to be walls on the first and last ranks of the grid. So my x and y are only going to be between 1 and 18. And then again for the y position, random.randint between 1 and 18. And now I'm just going to return this position. So this is going to generate a random position for my collectible. Now let's create a collectible class. Let me say class collectible, and let me define the init method. It's just going to take in self. And here I'm going to say self.pos equals new collectible position. So I'm going to generate a random position. And I'm going to say self.x is going to be self.pos at the first index. So the x position of my collectible times the tile size, like so. And the same thing for the y. So self.y is going to be self.pos at the first index times tile size, like so. Okay, so these are going to be the positions of my collectible. Now let's create our surface. So let's say self.image equals self dot pygame dot surface like so. This is going to be tile size by tile size. And let's get the rect. So self.rect equals self.image get rect like so. And now let's define the x and the y. So self.rect.x equals self.x, and self.rect.y equals self.y. And let's just fill our surface with a color. Let me say self.image.fill. Let's fill it with red. We haven't created this color yet, so let's go up here to my color section. Let's say red equals 255, 0, and 0. There you go. So now let's create a collectible down here. So let me say create collectible, and let's say collectible equals collectible. There you go. And now I need a draw method for my collectible. Let me say define draw self, and we're just gonna say screen dot lit the self dot image and the self dot rect, like so. So now let's go to our main loop, and let's say draw collectible. So let me say up here under draw snake, let's say draw collectible, and let me say collectible dot draw. There you go. So now if I run this, this should draw a collectible for me. There you go. So now we have our collectible. Of course, nothing happens when I go through it because I haven't defined the what happens in case of collision. But now if I run this again, and if I run this a couple of times, you're going to notice that the collectible sometimes spawns on top of the walls or on top of the player. I don't want that to happen. Like in this case right here, right? I ran the code, but no collectible appeared because the collectible is somewhere under these walls. Okay? So let's go back to my new collectible position. Oops, and I ran it again for some reason. And let me say while pos 0 equals snake dot rect dot x, or pos 1 equals snake dot rect dot Why? I want to keep generating a position. So let me copy this and let me put it right here. So this is going to generate a new position every time that we get a position that coincides with the player. I also want to do this for the walls. So in order to do this, I'm going to store every single wall in a list. So let me go up here and let me say walls. This is going to be an empty list. And now down here, every single time I create a wall, I'm going to add that wall to the list. So walls dot append that wall. So now all I need to do is I need to check. Actually, instead of appending the wall, I need to append the position of the wall. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to append a list with row and col. So every time that the position is inside of the walls list, then that means that my position is going to coincide with a wall. So or pos in walls. And now I'm going to be checking if the collectible is coinciding with the position of the snake or with the position of any wall in my map. So now if I run this, my collectible is never going to be inside of a wall or on top of my player, right? It's always going to be in some other blank position. So this is how you do random object generation, and this is how you check to see if the position is good or not. If it coincides with something, obviously you can't generate a collectible in that position. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.